fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grotto Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grotto offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grotto Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
We're going to be partly to mostly cloudy here for your Friday. Very slight chance of a thunderstorm this afternoon into this evening. High temperature of 83 degrees with a light southerly wind. We'll drop down to 70 for a low tonight before we hit 90 for a high on Saturday. And then we'll be pushing triple digits Sunday and Monday. I'm meteorologist Aaron Dowden for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Don't miss the 8th Annual Wing Fest on Saturday, July 26th at Haymarket Park from 5 till 8 p.m. Local restaurants will be serving wings from 5 to 7 p.m. with live music going until 8. Ice cream and beverages will also be available for purchase, and all the proceeds from the event will go to benefit students in the local community. Get your tickets today at wingfestlincoln.com and make sure you attend the 8th Annual Wing Fest at Haymarket Park on July 26th.
Noticing more dust at home? It may be time for duct cleaning from Bryant. Breathe easy and healthy. Call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer, Jay Foreman. Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Oh, well, hope you're not tired of us yet. I'm kind of tired of us. No, I'm just kidding. Happy to be here with you during On the Block. Austin Orman and Jay Foreman with you. On the Block brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Special ingredient butcher shop. Every type of meat and every type of cut. Jay, this is where maybe the mid to late afternoon shift is a blessing in that we don't have an excuse to skip out on today. We could sleep in a little bit, and I'm sure you were up and at 'em a little bit. But, man, it's nice to be back in the normal routine a little bit of the mid-afternoons, not up and at 'em bright and early in the morning.
Yeah, I don't even know where – it wasn't like a party trip where you're just, just tired.
Oh, we were working.
Yeah, but you just blown out. I'm just blown out. Mind gone, body gone. The schedule's all messed up, so it's all good though. But you just got to jump back in the fight.
We can do it for one day.
And it'd be different if we got back Friday like tonight, and then you can kind of get your bearings together. But the sports world waits for nobody. Waits for no one, whether in any league or any college. Obviously, since the media days are over, it is on now. I mean, there's no fair dodging. NFL training camps, I think every single one of them are on.
Mm-hmm. And that's the exciting part. That also helps you get out of bed a little bit when there is a lot of football for us to get talking about.
It's really good for the NFL and the NFLPA that football is being played. But hold your horses, my friends. We got another scandal.
What happened this time?
The Super Bowl tickets.
Oh, that one.
Hey, Hey, 100 players just got jammed up. Listen, man, I just don't, I mean, it's like people always ask me what it's like to, I guess, the NFL locker room, and it's bigger now because they have or more guys just because they expanded, I think, their practice squad roster from 5 to I think it's 12 or something like that. Yeah, remember? Yeah. I mean, they really upped the numbers, during COVID or whatever. And I said, you know what, man, it's no different than, my brother's a doctor and, he's in the hospital and it's like your own, it's just essentially everything that happens out in the real world, but just literally condensed down into a football stadium or like over there, that's what it is. You got every walk of life. You got every single issue. Doesn't matter. Everything across the board. Anything you can think of, I've seen it. And I've seen it twice because my dad did it. And so, or 3 times. They were all like my uncles. So I didn't see much then. But then I was a ball boy. So I kind of saw it, as a young impressionable kid and then go on. Then I came to college and then obviously, so everything happens, man. It's life, man. But you miss it though, just because you miss the camaraderie, of your teammates.
Oh, absolutely. Let's dig into that NFL ticket scandal just a little bit here. 100 players facing a penalty, like you said. The penalty sounds like it could be as little as 1.5 times the fine, or the value of the tickets that they sold him for. Or if you don't agree to pay it back, you'd get suspended. Jay, I'm just going to go out on a limb here and guess for every player in the NFL getting suspended for a game or 2 over this, the game check is going to be worth a lot more than the fine they're going to be asked to pay.
Yeah, and I think it's just mainly just because, that they sold the tickets for more than what they were like. So say I don't know if this still rings true. When you're an NFL player, you can purchase 2 tickets. Like that, you have that's your right or
your
whatever.
allotment.
Yeah, allotment. That you have access to 2 tickets. So just say they are $1,000 each for the Super Bowl, which obviously they're way more. And then I think they're saying here, according to this, when you sell it for more.
Yes, more than face value.
More than face value. So essentially, you have to sell it for $1,000 or less.
Yeah. So what they can do is
I don't know if anybody ever did that when I played. I always sold mine for a face value.
Just because you didn't know about it happening doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Yeah.
This can't be a new idea. Someone got the idea from somewhere. I'm not accusing anyone. I'm accusing someone. I'm not pointing fingers any single direction.
Hey, what's old buddy that was getting interviewed? He said he pleaded the fifth,
yeah.
4th, and the 15th, 14th, 5th, 6th, and 14th. That's what I plead. The 5th, 6th, and 14th.
Although I have been told that you guys were on moral superior ground. You guys did things by the rules. You did it by the book.
I will tell you, in college, I will go to my grave. I don't think anybody got paid. Like while I was here at Nebraska. There was, I'm telling you, they ran a Bill Burner. They ran a tight ship. Tight. Yeah, I don't know any of my teammates. And we got some big miles. I don't think anybody got paid.
You had some talented dudes who got plenty of really good offers.
They should have got paid.
Look at T. Frazier, right?
I don't think he did. I don't think anybody got paid while they're here. I know that's for a fact. I would stand on business with that. Now, as far as the tickets go,
this feels like the time to unveil my nuclear take of the summer.
Of what?
Are you ready for it?
Yeah, why not? Go ahead, man. I'm ripe for the picking right now.
Did Tom Osborne's refusal to pay players set Nebraska back today? Is Nebraska behind the game because Tom Osborne ran a tight, clean, by the rules ship?
Oh, that's a good question.
And of course, I say that
yes
tongue in cheek because
yes and no.
We like it when we win by the rules. You guys did it by the rules. You did it by the book. That is even more a testament to you guys, how good you were as players, as a team, your discipline, everything like that. Do not get me wrong. I'm not saying Nebraska should have broken rules. That being said, everyone else, so many other places were doing it. Is Nebraska behind because there wasn't the quote unquote culture of giving from big donors and fans when this wasn't a thing?
That's a good question. I don't think so necessarily while he was coach, maybe afterwards. I don't think Frank did either. And then I think maybe Nebraska probably needed to play a little dirtier, like when everybody else was really probably, like after 2001 or whatever Frank left, you need to probably
after what happened against Miami.
You probably need, but see, teams going and paying players. Now, granted, that was just a great run of 3 or 4 or 5 classes in Miami.
And how did they get there?
Oh,
you don't have to say, because I know you're tied.
I can't say it. Evan Shapiro said it. He went to prison for it.
Sure.
And he told on himself and everybody else. So that's documented. But I think if you take Miami out of it, and say like, the schools that I don't know who else was maybe doing it back then. I think the other schools, including like the Texas and all them, I think they amped that up to catch Nebraska. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
USC obviously, and let's also be real. Also, after Coach Osborne, Coach Solich, we weren't around or allowed to be around when Callahan was here. College football changed, and that's when you started to see the big signing days and all that. So it kind of came just a byproduct of that. 7-on-7 started to catch fire. You had the trainers in the those guys and the handlers started to catch fire.
Well, and 7-on-7 probably benefits kids in the South and on the coast more so than Nebraska, where you think about fullbacks and linemen.
Right, and I think I think the West Coast offense just got introduced, or the passing offense just got introduced when Callahan got here. Everything else was kind of along the Nebraska's line, so it's definitely different. So I think the explosion of all those things that I mentioned probably led to it, because that was going on. And I think some of the ideas or some of the things that have been going on in like club basketball, AU basketball for probably 20 years prior, just caught up and started like, oh, that's working for basketball over there.
Right.
Hey, we need to start doing this over here. and then, because it started in basketball club, like AAU, the tournaments and the specialized camps and all that stuff, and pushing guys to shoe company schools, so forth and so on. And then obviously giving the head coach, I mean, this is all documented. It was in the Big East 30 for 30.
And then that's continued to volleyball, really. That's how that sport's grown huge.
Right. And then it's still prevalent now. It's not that big a deal like with basketball and stuff. And guys that run organizations in club basketball, youth, they just do it differently. Instead of paying guys directly, they're just like, all right, we'll pay you don't have to pay any fees, but we travel all over the country. That's essentially paying them. And then they probably like get them a little job and then they put some money in their pocket. So then that's where you kind of, capture them a little bit. So no, I don't think necessarily set Nebraska back. I think Nebraska probably was and always been reluctant to really break the rules. And it's different. It's just a different, Nebraska's always prided themselves on do the things the right way and stuff like that.
And again, let me reiterate, that's entirely commendable in my preferred approach. I'm just saying. I mean, I wasn't asking Coach Osborne to, get all the way in the mud, but sometimes you got to get a couple mud specks on the sport coat.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, we were winning so much we didn't have to, and then it is what it is. I think the thing that really affected. I mean, I hate going all the way back and talking about this because number one, I was a lot younger then. Number one, so it's like, dang, I just think that as college football changed, the reluctancy, maybe even with that part, and then all the other parts, you're reluctant to change and get hip with the times. Everybody else is thinking outside the box, and you're staying in your box. And then here comes the more like options for being on TV, right? ESPN 1, 2, 3, Fox, and all this other stuff get into college football. And so when you go from the people, the I guess the team or the organization that everybody tries to beat or replicate, and then there's very few options on getting on national TV. The emphasis on going to the winning program went away because guys start getting paid. And then also, all right, why would I go wait? And I can get on TV at any, some lower level school, a lot of times like that, or another university, I can play right away and get paid. I can stay closer to home. And so then the adjustment was very, very, reluctant. And then
Why do you think it was so reluctant? Just because of all the success
past
that was
success,
there?
Yeah, probably. And why would you think anything different? But also think that when you did pivot, it was too drastic. When you went from Frank, and you got to think. I mean, I think every coach that came here got a contract extension before we hired Bill Callahan. Houston Nutt, everybody else. So it's kind of like, all right, let's go to Nebraska, get them. We're not going. Let's feel them out. Then, all right, when we land back home, we got a new contract.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that hurt Nebraska as well because you didn't have a coach for it. I think. I mean, text line. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know it was over 30 days.
Oh, easily.
Yeah. So I
closer
think,
to 2 months.
Yeah. So that's a long time, and you're out of the mix.
Which is weird for Nebraska at that time. I mean, you're not that far removed from the quote unquote glory days, even with all the changes in college sports. You played for a national championship 2 years before, and it took you that long to get a coach. I mean, I'm sure some of that was on the coaches not wanting to.
Well,
but running the search too, if you're going to make that move, you got to have a name, and you got to think of yourself highly enough that you get a prestigious, accomplished dude.
You would think so, but I mean, it's no different than what people say about Bo. Frank won 9 games. You found it didn't look good, and I think the thing was when I think Nebraska was playing Texas and they went away from the game, and then you wanted something different because you thought you're behind the times. I think maybe prior to Frank, Frank's last year, recruiting probably dipped a little bit. The idea of really playing and demanding and definitely the demands on the players were definitely softened, and that's one of the things that probably softened the program. But back to the original point, I don't think that was it, but I think it was just overall reluctant to really push the needle in a lot of things. And this is even administration and how they view their perception of Nebraska at we're talking. Like, I think even when like Bo was here, or even especially when Nice Mike was here, the perception of Nebraska, what with the inner workings of it. I'll never forget. We were at this is how simple-minded people are still to this day. 2 years ago, we were at Big Ten Media Days, and I forget the young lady's name, but I know she works on ESPN. We took a picture with her, and I think she's been taking a break because she had a kid or whatever. I think her last name is. It's not Joy Taylor, but she was a former basketball player. And, it was me, Farley, Rashawn, maybe AG. And she was on a Big Ten show I was, but she didn't know like who I was. It was just on Sirius XM. So he was like, "Oh, you guys are from Nebraska? Like they got y'all, they got many of you guys in Nebraska?" So really just in that day and time, so if 2023, 2022, 23 or whatever, they really was like, oh, there isn't any black people in Nebraska. But that's the perception though.
And perception is reality.
But that's the thing where like, I think a little bit, and this, I don't need to really get into it, but I think sometimes you can have so much success and get encapsulated in what you're doing. You don't really see what you're perceived at, outside of the state lines. Now when you're selling out every weekend and in the games and all that and all that, you can't, okay, who cares? We had a double down where we're winning and we're selling out. We got national championship. So then as things started to change, the perception started to unfortunately be the reality, not only in the media wise or whatever, but then in some kids eyes as well. That's where you see, like, I think Bo Pelini said, by that, I think at that time he didn't have like complete access to a private jet or something. Right. I think, correct me if I'm wrong.
Sounds
and
right.
That was like a big deal, and rightfully so. And that was one of the things when Bo, I can't speak for Bo, and I'm assuming because I know it came up when he was talking about support from at that time I-Course to be able to fly private to recruit because Bo didn't necessarily like recruiting, but he was a good recruiter. He was when he.
I talked to any of his former players. They'll do anything for that guy.
He was a good recruiter.
Yeah.
Once he got there, he was landing those guys. But he's flying, to Chicago, delayed in Chicago, and he's trying to see 3-4 high school kids in a day. Yeah. Head coach, and everybody else was flying. So, I think that. But Bo talked about once he got kids from Louisiana up here, it changed their minds. It
Right.
changed my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea that. I had no idea. I told my dad, I was like, I didn't know that. I knew nothing about Nebraska besides Miami used to beat them every single year in the orange. Not every year, but every time they play.
Mhm.
That's the only thing I knew. I knew who Coach Osborne wanted, obviously, when he started recruiting me. I didn't know about all the inner workings, which you shouldn't, but I didn't know a lot about Nebraska
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't have the internet or anything. It was all perception.
Right. Until he walked in that front door.
Right through the high school. It was like the parting of the Red Sea. I went from
Wait, what color is Eden Prairie? What are the school colors?
black and red.
Okay, so actually,
Yeah.
literally the Red Sea. Then.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, in high school, obviously I was a good athlete, but I wasn't like the most popular or anything like that. I still wear my big Coke bottle glasses, but boy, my popularity rating went up 2,000%. So you know how people come to Nebraska camps and get their followers up?
Oh yeah,
my followers went up. Yeah, I got a lot cuter then.
Through the roof.
Yeah, I got a lot cuter then.
Bask me in that glow.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was glowed up. Yeah. So Coach Osborne came and it was the talk of the town.
You've been to a handful of Big Ten media days now. What do you think of Vegas versus Indy?
I think, well, if I just had to compare it, Indy, I think, is a finished product.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Vegas, it was too sectioned off, so it kind of just felt like it just didn't feel like the same, right? It was like so you didn't get to see the coaches walk in. You really didn't get a lot of access to the players. I think the advantage of Vegas is that it's easier to get to for every team.
Yeah.
And they put
not for Penn State's media apparently, but for the team.
Yeah, for the team case, and for us, which is most important. I think Vegas hosting a Big Ten media days is just another day in the life in Vegas is not gonna, which is great. Probably didn't have as much cachet as it did when we were in Indy, which is fine
because it's a thing, not the thing.
Yeah, and so it's just like, it's just another. I mean, heck, Manny Pacquiao fought 2 days before we got there,
right?
And so it's all right. You got the world-class fighter that brought in millions of people, and you guys come in for segment it for 3 days.
Yeah,
I think it's better in Indy, even if you include the travel. Just because being in this football stadium, you get to see everybody. You can hear some things. You essentially can. When they have the breakout sessions, you can listen to players, and when the coaches come over, you can kind of, really be efficient that way. And you can sometimes get, we had Kurt Ferentz stop by, we had PJ Fleck stop by, Barry Alvarez. We don't even know if he was there, but when he was with Wisconsin and working with them, he came by and gave us an interview. I mean, so that's what I didn't like about it. It's not anybody's fault, the Big Ten fault or not. It just happens this is a year that they couldn't get Indy, or Indy couldn't, work it out. Now I think if they had, I don't know if they had enough room in the convention center to do it how they did the Super Bowl media row.
Oh, gotcha.
But I think they maybe could, because I think on the big stage, now there's a lot of chairs in there.
Very many.
When the big coaches do their 15 minutes, 20% is filled.
Yeah.
30.
Yeah, I'd buy that.
So I think if you got 50% of those chairs, I think you could get into the convention center. And I think even if,
well, the problem was you need all that space for the different networks who are set up in that room too.
Right, and that's in Indy.
Oh, Indy, got it.
Indy,
gotcha.
yes,
Yeah.
that's why you need it.
Got
But I think right across, is from my recollection, you could put the different networks and Radio Row in there as well. Now it becomes hard because they're going live on Big Ten and all that. I think there's a way they could do it, but it seemed to be, I think their equipment's so good they can noise cancellation everything. Because there was times that I don't know if they were interviewing coaches and players as a coach was up there, but I think there was a way they could do it. But you know what, it wasn't my favorite. It wasn't as kind of hands-on or intimate, I thought, but it is what it is.
I thought it ran pretty smoothly.
It did run smooth. There wasn't a problem with the process.
No.
It was just a problem with
setup,
the access and the setup.
Yeah, the flow.
Yeah, the flow was not flowing.
The flow will be flowing to Germany for Michigan and Western Michigan when they open the 2026 season. Let's talk about that, the game itself, but really what it means for the Big Ten. We know the NFL has gone international. We know college football has done a little bit of that. Now the Big Ten's doing it again. We'll talk about that coming up next during On the Block.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Rollouts has been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Rollouts will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Rollouts make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Rolloffs, cleanup made simple.
Play ball!
Haymarket Park is buzzing with excitement this summer. Grab your crew and get in on the fun. Be sure to catch all the daily specials and promotions this season, like Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, Souvenir Saturday, Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts all summer long. Don't miss out on the action as the Lincoln Salt Dogs take on their biggest rivals and knock the ball out of the park. Visit saltdogs.com and see this week's promotions and grab your tickets.
Noticing more dust at home? It may be time for duct cleaning from Bryant. Breathe easy and healthy. Call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL Weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
We're going to be partly to mostly cloudy here for your Friday. Very slight chance of a thunderstorm this afternoon into this evening. High temperature of 83 degrees with a light southerly wind. We'll drop down to 70 for a low tonight before we hit 90 for a high on Saturday, and then we'll be pushing triple digits Sunday and Monday. I'm meteorologist Aaron Dowden for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grotto Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grotto offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grotto Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
We're back here on the block. Austin and Jay with you. Eastrick's going to be out for a couple weeks. He will probably make his way back to us at some point. We'll keep you posted on that. But this Friday is a great time to get yourself down to Liquid Assets if you haven't already. It's the best place in town to hit up after your round of golf with your guys. That's Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill. They've got 23 beers on tap, a specific bar for high-end bourbon and spirits. They got 30 TVs showing golf, baseball, obviously a lot of football training camp headlines going to be on their TV as well. You can enjoy their delicious wings or their handheld sandwiches like the Turkey Melt, Liquid Gold Hamburger, Bull Market Barbecue Burger, and more. And of course, their brand new chocolate chip cookie skillet as well. That's Liquid Asset Sports Bar and Grill at 2755 Jamie Lane, just north of 27th and Yankee Hill here in Lincoln. 402-464-5685 number if you want to be a part of the show. Jay, this came out today. Michigan and Western Michigan are planning to move their season opening game to Germany. Okay, on its face, that's kind of interesting. Then you think about, okay, well, college football is gone, maybe a little bit more international. Of course, Nebraska has opened up the season over there in Dublin, Ireland. That kickoff classic has been happening for a number of years now, so it's not exactly novel, except that I think it's part of just a larger trend, a larger movement from the Big Ten to position itself to be as much like the NFL as it can. You know, college football hasn't been to Germany. That's a market the NFL really wants to be in, playing a handful of games over there every year. You add the Germany game on top of the way they want to structure the college football playoff and the schedule throughout the year. It really feels to me like the Big Ten is trying to position itself as the NFL's minor league, as copy-paste as it can be in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and they're trying different ways, and obviously Michigan and the Michigan game is trying to bring some, I guess, spice to it or pizzazz, and obviously brand to it. I just wonder what would, like, in a lot of ways, Michigan thinks they're above the law, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can operate like without, they can operate not like everybody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've seen that with the Harbaugh thing, and they were mad at the NCAA for believing in investigation and all the facts or whatever. But then you turn around and you give away a home game, at home, and you're not playing. Say they were playing even at this point like at Indiana or like
even at Purdue
State. Michigan State,
mm-hmm.
Or even, I guess, somebody they feel like they would, you're playing Western Michigan.
Of all people.
I mean, that's a home game where that's a clear the benches game most likely for Michigan. So, but I think overall is like, as far as the college football game, it's slow steps. I would like to just see a rapid movement to the NFL. How many times did we hear, big shout out to my man Jetfish. It was good to see him. But when you hear him talk, you hear PJ Fleck talk, you hear Matt Rule talk, you hear Ryan, of course, all the powers that be, they talk about, you got to practice, you got to operate, you got to be a pro. We're trying to make this an NFL like program.
Mm-hmm.
We're treating, right? Well, then if this is the off season for the players and as you're doing the schedule and scheduling, obviously not taking a game playing in Mexico City. That's dangerous,
Ooh.
Right?
But if the turf is torn up as it was.
Yes, but it's dangerous from a security standpoint. It's 3 times as many. Oh, wait. So 53 on a roster.
It's at least double moving forward.
Right.
But right now it's close to triple for some places.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the players. We're not even talking about all the other people that are running around.
Oof.
So in Mexico City has its own problems anyways.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is when you're thinking about scheduling and the options, right? For even like a team that I would probably or a league or a conference I would approach about doing this game would be the MAC. Reason why it'd be for MAC,
Western Michigan is the MAC.
No, like a MAC against a MAC.
Oh, gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha,
Reason why,
okay.
take your biggest preseason game
Mm-hmm.
in, let's say you were going to play in October.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get it going then. And the reason why I say, because that would uplift the overall, right? You would get more out of that.
Yeah.
And maybe pay them, kind of give them a travel, like
Make it worth their while.
Make it worth their while.
Yeah.
But I think when you're looking at the schedule and the options for places to play, look for potentially like a game up in Toronto. I mean, just even these different places that have.
Shoot, Buffalo U.
Yeah, you could do
You
Buffalo.
Go play in Toronto.
Right. Yeah, you could do Buffalo up there and whoever their rivalry game is. Just try to expand it that way. And now you're kind of along the NFL lines. And then if you do that and then copy the off season or your college version of it doesn't have to be apples to apples. What I'm talking about is the 20 practices in spring. Okay, so if you're saying we're trying to get you ready for the pros, right? How many times did Jed Fisk talk about the travel? Right.
We talked about professionalism. That was the point of his opening statement.
Right. Professionalism. You got to get used to the travel. So we're getting you ready to be a pro. We're treating you like a pro. We're training you like a pro. We're working on your mental health and psychology like you're a pro. So now let's get you in a pro off season. Okay. The season ends. Everybody's season, ends when the college football, national championship is over. Then your off season comes. So then when does free agency start? That's the transfer portal. Okay. So now you got your team. You got your early enrollees. That's your first 3, 4, 5 practices of your rookie minicamp. Then you spread out the other 15 of legitimate practice. Then you bring in some veterans after that. Then after that, you would have your how in June they he's a June 1 cut or something that.
Yeah.
Okay, well now maybe you get some guys here's an example. Mekhi Bear goes to Missouri. Whatever reason he decided to go to Missouri, went through spring, left after spring. Okay, then you have another portal potentially, especially because he was a graduate, but you're able to go. Well, then you have more mini camps there. So can you get guys, okay, well, this dude that came in as a freshman or he came in a JUCO, he's better than the veteran. You can make a, decision there. Now, obviously, you got to get your cost sharing goes. And then you start to have those ones right before camp. 3, you can go 3, 2, 1, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then you head right into fall camp. You can actually potentially reduce the weeks in fall camp because you have OTAs and maybe a couple of a couple of them are padded. A couple of days off, you're back, and you don't have to go right back into pads. So you get your first week of camp out of the way, right? All the weigh-ins and all that stuff. Get a couple practices, padded practices, a couple of days off. Boom, we're hitting the line running. So now you're moving up the start date. Of the season.
Probably early August.
Yeah. Early August, or then if you have one of those specialty games, then guys are getting into camp into June, maybe. Woo. if it's earlier. Reason why I'm saying to move it up is because you're moving all the other stuff up. So you're trying to.
It's the stuff on the back pushing instead of stuff up front pulling.
When you're looking at it, you want to stair step, be around the times of the NFL stuff. So just say, for instance, March 1st was free agency. Well, then maybe you want your
transfer portal
February or April, whatever it is, you want to be before or after or one of the decisions. And that way you're getting guys ready. And then also you're pretty much, like I said, I've been saying this for 5 years. College football is pro sports, professional football, whether you like it or not. And people always, they're student athletes. No, they ain't been student athletes for a long time. I'm here to play football. College is second, period. Okay. The NFL is entertainment. That's the difference. And there's no different in basketball.
No.
The college basketball.
Right.
No different in any sport. They're professionals. They're professionals. You're getting paid. You're getting paid in some form or fashion. Now, everybody's like, oh, well, what if I'm not getting a lot of NIL money? You're getting something. I'm sure everybody on the roster is getting some sort of NIL. Not everybody's making $1 million, but everybody's getting more. Assuming not everybody, but I'm a high percentage of guys and gals are getting more than what their scholarship is, their scholarship check. So you're getting paid
more than just school paid for,
and you're able to make money off the court or off the field and all that stuff too.
I really like that approach, and it's whether you like it or not, it's professional is kind of where I want to go for the last couple minutes here, because generally I'm fine with it. I like it. I understand why it was going to happen. One of the things I'm not a fan of is the fact that we're just telling these college athletes, oh, just get used to the travel. I get that it's getting them prepared. I get that it's getting them used to it, but it's getting a small percentage of them used to it because not all those college guys are going. And that's one of those things where if we're looking out for 75+% of, college football, 90%, there you go. Is it worth all this cross-country travel to help 10%? I'm not saying it's not. It's just, to me, you've talked about how hard some of those travel days are for the NFL, especially if it's cross-country, especially if it's short week that you just got off of or coming up. I get why it's happening in college sports, but that's another benefit that I think the regionality of college sports had when you could bust the Big 8 or most of the Big 12 for that point. And even the NFL, those divisions can be spread out, but you play those teams twice a year. So that's, 3 trips right there that are supposed to be simple, easy, quicker, and not that bad on your body. And I know the Big Ten has some of that, but when you get rid of divisions like the Big Ten has, I think that there are diminishing returns to that aspect, the travel aspect of getting guys ready, even if I can understand what the Big Ten is shooting for in a lot of other realms.
Yeah, it's hard because the Big Ten has expanded, coast to coast. And so that just is part of it, but that's part of college football. So that's probably the part that, the cost analysis or the risk reward, they're willing for the risk because the reward is fat paychecks for everybody.
Right.
I think the thing about the travel, it is hard, but I also think they travel in luxury. There's way more science around, nutrition and all that to have them ready. I think the coaches are well educated. I assume they're all well educated on, practice reps and how many and when they, and all that stuff. And, I kind of go back and forth with that. You know what I mean? As far as, all right, you had 85 reps yesterday, so you're going to have 5. I felt like I always was fine. So, but
that's the data versus the eye test, right? You got to know yourself.
But, maybe
it's nice to have someone watching out for you.
But then maybe I wasn't. But I think it worked out all right.
Again, that's the balance, right? Because you know how you feel,
right,
as best as you can know.
Sure.
Now, sometimes you have science that tells you something about yourself you couldn't feel, or you don't know what it is you're feeling, where it's nice to have someone looking out for you. But that's ultimately where, to me, that has to end up in your hands, not the coach's hands or the performance staff hands.
Yeah, I agree with you there, but then I also think it needs to be a combo. And I think,
well, you take the input from them.
Yeah. I mean, heck, look, Austin, the first play I played, I got knocked out and still played. So I would tell you I'm fine. Actually, I probably wasn't.
Hello,
yeah,
we're back.
So I the travel thing, I think it's hard. I don't think it's that big a deal. I think all these coaches are taking the right approach. To try to put a positive spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if, I would say this about the weather too, you see kids that, say they want to play down south, or whatever. And granted, you want to play by your family and all that, but like you don't come to Nebraska because you're like a school that's up, has cold weather. And you're like, just because I only want to play in warm weather. Well, if you're telling me, if I'm a GM and I hear that, I'm not drafting you.
Well, and that comes from someone who said Green Bay and Buffalo.
Right. Now that was more the nightlife. It wasn't the weather. You
could just said it was the weather, Jay. You have to.
No, because that would be a lie, because I know actually the weather plays to my advantage. You know what I'm saying? I knew how to play.
Yeah, but you're about to be a pro. You'd like to have some control over where you're going with the weather.
Where I was getting drafted, I was just happy to get drafted. So it wasn't like I wasn't going to turn my nose up. I just wanted to go to I felt like, and it worked out the best for me possible. This is how dumb you can be as a athlete. And look, I probably had advantages. I grew up in a NFL environment. I'm up here worried about nightlife. The most important thing is what's on the field. And that was the 2 smallest cities. So that's where I was thinking I want to go somewhere, glitz and glamour. And actually, if I had to do, obviously by experience, Buffalo's the best. Those are the 2 places I wanted to go. I would have liked to go. Now I knew how to be a pro. I knew how to work hard, but really just to get in there, earn my stripes, went into an excellent organization. It was the best thing for me. So when kids are talking about the weather and the travel or what time they're playing, that goes off because like you got 12 of these games. It's 48 hours. It's 2 days. Okay, Austin.
Good match.
It's 2 days.
Good job.
This is all you got, man.
You got to be 10 toes down on it. You got to lock it up.
You got to lock in.
Mhm.
And you have to, if you want this, and take the pros out of it. If you want to be the best that you want, like if you're telling me you want to be the best player, no matter what happens that you can be, you can't worry about what time you play. Is there advantages at playing at certain times? Sure. So I felt sometimes playing at night was really cool. It was a little bit more of an advantage, both in the pros or a later game in the pros or college and the pros. But I could watch some things or watch a game or two and kind of get the flow of the game and see some things. It's almost like watching two other teams make practice or play, and I could say, "Oh, okay, that's cover 3. That's a unique route that I might see, or this is how they're evaluating this type of." I mean, it just felt a little bit more, I guess, relaxing, and it worked to advantage. But if we played at 11, well, then I'm up at 6. It's on. I can sleep later. Like I train all year and do all that crap all year and go through all that stuff. And you think I'm gonna worry about what time we're playing? We playing at 1 o'clock at night. We playing,
getting it on.
Yeah.
Well, I think about that too from the standpoint of, say, a USC Rutgers matchup. Just for example, USC has to play big noon out in Piscataway. Guess what? You show up, you play well. GM says, "Hey, look, body clock didn't affect him."
Yeah.
If you're a Rutgers guy, you go out and you play the late kickoff, right? Let's say you get the 6:30 Pacific time here. That's a 9:30 body clock kick for you. You play well. Hey, guess what? They handled adversity. They're a pro.
Yeah.
They take care of business.
It's more mental than anything.
Oh, yeah. Always.
Physically, they're ready to go.
Absolutely. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, this is On the Block. We'll give a short preview of Big Ten Media Days volleyball edition. Danny Busby Kelly taking the stage as head coach for the Huskers for the first time coming up, I believe, on Monday. We'll talk about that. What do we expect to hear from her when we get back to On the Block?
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce is complicated. It affects every part of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions that it can take, it's times like this that you need a partner you can count on.
If you're a man facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today to connect with a local divorce attorney who understands the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Text GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. 1221 N Street, Lincoln. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply, stop to opt out.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Make bill paying a breeze with Text to Pay. LES texts you 1 week before your bill's due date. Just reply to the text to pay. It's that easy. Log into your account at les.com to sign up today.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
This July, Acres is celebrating the birth of our nation. The fireworks include the opportunity to save big with great pricing on our late model John Deere ag equipment. Plus, you can lock in interest rates as low as 1.9% on select used John Deere planters, tractors, sprayers, and combines. Red hot rates combined with our explosive discounts make July the perfect time to buy and save. Don't wait. These deals won't last long. Visit acres.com for all the details. That's AKRS.com. Restrictions apply. Offer July 31st, 2025. Some approved financing. Offer may change anytime without notice.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grotto Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grotto offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grotto Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Austin Norman, Jay Foreman with you during On the Block, brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Talking about Big Ten volleyball media days, your Nebraska Cornhuskers were the pick to win the league in Danny Busboom Kelly's first year. A lot of that core returning. Jay, we talked about it at the time, but now this is really going to be, Danny Busboom Kelly's first big national stage as John Cook's replacement. Seems like she's handled all her other obligations here in Nebraska and in the volleyball world fine, but and again, I'm not worried about her saying something she shouldn't or having stage fright or whatever in front of Big Ten media on that stage. But it is the first test that she'll have to pass in a lot of people's minds. How does she represent Nebraska? How does she answer the question, what does it feel like to take over not only the program that you played for, but for one of the most legendary coaches in college athletics history? Yeah. Going to be really curious to see how that goes, how that gets phrased to Danny Busboom Kelly. And just to see how comfortable or uncomfortable she looks in that limelight in the moment.
Yeah, I think it'll be a lot easier. I think she'll do well. Number one, she was a player, right? Yeah. So she's, dealt with it. And obviously, volleyball wasn't at this magnitude back then. It was at a highest magnitude, but there's a lot of social media and media now, and especially around the state of Nebraska and Nebraska women's volleyball. But then also, she was at a big time program at Louisville as well. So she knows how to handle the pressure. She knows how to handle herself. And then also I think, she's at home. She's been here. And I think it won't be and I think her personality fits that she'll handle it. I'd be very surprised if she goes up there and Deshaun Foster's or something like that.
That's what I'm trying to say. She won't do that.
I think she'll welcome the questions. I think she's 1000%, respects Coach Cook, and I think Coach Cook respects her.
Mhm.
I doubt that she was hired without Coach Cook kind of signing off on it.
Right.
And I think they have just from what I'm reading here, they have a good relationship to where, if she needs him and, if he sees something, I think he's a lot more involved than people think that he's not off on his ranch yet. So,
Mhm.
I think it'll be, just, kind of just Groundhog's Day, and I think she'll knock it out of the park too. I think she obviously young. She has a different view on it, different vibes. I think some of the things that she probably had to do at Louisville probably will bleed into what we, see and hear from her. But then also, I think she might be excited for it. But then also, I think it's like the football team. Once you do that, hey man, once you go to like your media days,
Mhm.
it's on.
It's season time.
It's season time, or it's right around the corner. So I think it is her first step. I think it's going to be something that she's always going to remember. I mean, look, man. I mean, very rarely. I wish we could do like a poll from like 19. Just say from 2000, right? Well, Rick Neuheisel played at UCLA, right? And he coached there.
Yeah, I know he coached there.
Yeah. Did he play? He played at UCLA. Because did he go UCLA to Colorado, or Colorado to UCLA?
He went Colorado 95 to 98, UCLA 2008 to 2000.
But did he play at UCLA?
He did play at UCLA.
Okay,
yes.
so from 90, whenever Rick Neuheisel went to UCLA,
80 to 84, 81 to 84.
No, I mean as head coach.
Oh, head coach, that would have been 2008, 2011.
Okay, from 2000 to 2025, or say 24. How many former athlete players got to be the head coach at their alma mater? It would be pretty good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty small list.
Pretty small list. But
Yeah.
then it's also, so that's where, like, when you talk about Danny, I think she'll just be just fine.
Danny, Scott,
Rick Neuheisel.
yeah. John Shire.
Yeah. There's more than we.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think off
And
the
there's
top
probably
of my
some
head.
small colleges, like where we don't
Right.
know, but.
In terms of the major ones, though. Yeah.
And sometimes they,
Exclusive list.
Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
But, and then so I think that's why she'll always remember it. I'm sure it's going to be, definitely a day for her to kind of, emotions. But,
Mhm.
then once she gets on the plane, comes home, it's back to business.
Last one for you then before we go to break. Actually, let's go to break. I'll ask you this question on the other side, and then we'll get into more in college sports. A lot of talent on this Husker volleyball team, playing a pretty daunting schedule, but that really good recruiting class, they're now upperclassmen. A lot of them are juniors. We'll get into that, the talent on the roster, what it's going to take for Nebraska to break the national title drought, and an executive order signed for college sports. All that and more in hour 2 of the show.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orban, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Play ball!
Haymarket Park is buzzing with excitement this summer. Grab your crew and get in on the fun. Be sure to catch all the daily specials and promotions this season, like Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, Souvenir Saturday, Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts all summer long. Don't miss out on the action as the Lincoln Salt Dogs take on their biggest rivals and knock the ball out of the park. Visit saltdogs.com and see this week's promotions and grab your tickets.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Copple's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Copple since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
This July, Acres is celebrating the birth of our nation. The fireworks include the opportunity to save big with great pricing on our late model John Deere ag equipment. Plus, you can lock in interest rates as low as 1.9% on select used John Deere planters, tractors, sprayers, and combines. Red hot rates combined with our explosive discounts make July the perfect time to buy and save. Don't wait. These deals won't last long. Visit acres.com for all the details. That's AKRS.com. Restrictions apply. Offer July 31st, 2025. Subproof financing. Offer may change anytime without notice.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
This just in, hot off the bench press. Planet Fitness has expanded strength equipment. Save $28 or more when you join today. We're raising the bar with these benches, and our hack squat will have you actually looking forward to leg day. Plus, we're still repping all the best-in-class equipment we've always had. There's no better time to get stronger. So join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Find your nearest club and join today. Deal ends July 31st.
See Home Club for details.
This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer, Jay Foreman. Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Hour 2 of On the Block for a Friday. Jay and I are into hours, what did we decide? I think hours 25 and 29-ish of radio, something like that. You've heard a lot of us this week. Big thanks to everyone who listened throughout the few days of Big Ten Media Days. Big thanks to the sponsors who made that fun, productive trip possible. Making On the Block and Old School possible is the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. They got 3 locations in Lincoln and 1 up in Omaha for you to find every type of meat and every type of cut. They are more than just the butcher shop as well. They got all sorts of accoutrements for your meat and meat meals, all sorts of desserts, sides, yummy stuff like that as well. Again, 3 Lincoln locations and 1 up in Omaha. Learn more today at themercadobutcher.com. Jay, wrapping up our Nebraska volleyball conversation. Really talented team. We know that year in, year out. Been a while since they won a title. They've gotten to that stage. They've gotten to the Final Four. They've gotten to the championship game. Just haven't gotten over the hump. How, if you're Danny Busboom Kelly, do you make sure they feel that pressure and have that as their main goal without letting it affect them, in a negative way where they put too much pressure on themselves to finally deliver one?
Yeah, that's the tricky part. I mean, that's a hard thing to do just because, you can crank up the intensity in practice. You can't say you're going to get better competition because
Right.
I mean, you're playing against top ranked team just in practice. The practice team or practice squad would be right up there with it. So, I mean, it's going to be a unique process. I think it's more of a mental thing, and then obviously, it's kind of like really honing in on situational football to where you feel confident when you go out there, and it's going to be a process. And maybe some of the things that Danny learned and was able in tricks that she used at Louisville will be able to take, come here and help Nebraska, get over the hump. And I think it's a good thing to have that kind of standard, but then also because it's a credit to where you are and the expectations are. The pressure is a privilege. So now it's to the point to where you want to make sure that you use it as a tool to do what you actually say and want to do, right? And saying it is one thing, wanting it is showing me, right? And really, you probably have to come in and really, open some, peel off some scabs and find out, okay, why do you think we, you got your Nebraska to say we didn't win a championship last year? What were you feeling when, you needed 2 points to win the national championship? Do you feel like you guys were playing too tight or not enough adjustments or so forth and so on? I feel like when they played, I think Texas in the Final Four.
They got Penn State in the Final Four and lost to them.
Last year.
Yes.
The year before it was Texas, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the championship, they got.
That was a better team. They were ready for the big time. You were playing against some grown women that were ready mentally, and they were actually peaking when we probably were like, oh, we saw the sun over the horizon.
At the end of the long year for a bunch of freshmen.
Right. There is a difference. And then I think this year, you have to really maybe look at what Penn State, their type of team and what they did, maybe schematically, and then just use it as data. And then you got to go and just build your program and build your team as such. And because every year is different. This is a talented team. Even the players that are on the team that played for Coach Cook last year, they're different. This is a different team. So you got to really build your team, even though immensely talented every year in and year out.
It's going to be interesting to monitor the mental acuity of this team throughout the year, because I think some of those tricks that Danny Busboom Kelly learned at Louisville, whatever they are mentally, physically, can work at Nebraska. But Jay, we know that there are, the big dogs that have all the money, and then some of those clubs that have to, get creative to create their own advantages. Sometimes that stuff scales up if it's on a minor enough scale, but sometimes if you try to replicate it on a bigger scale, you find out that some of the stuff that you can say, that you have to say at a volleyball program like Louisville, which to Danny Busboom Kelly's credit, she helped continue to turn into an excellent volleyball program. Some of that stuff is going to work at Nebraska, but not all of it, which is where I think Danny's experience at Nebraska, knowing, the messages you can use as the underdog up and comer in Louisville, won't maybe come off the same way at the big dog in Nebraska.
Really, to be honest with you, I mean, you just got to come in there and just be honest. Look, we're a good team, period. We got a bunch of good players. And if we want to be a great team with a bunch of great players, we're going to have to do the work. We are going to have to do the work.
Well, and it's because guess what? Danny doesn't have a championship either. And she's gotten her team back to that stage time and time again, which makes her, to me, Jay, the perfect mental fit for this team, specifically with this batch of players.
That's what I was just about to say. I think this is great because it's all about we. We have not done anything. Nobody in here, unless it's a transfer from the transfer portal, has won a championship. I haven't won a championship. And sometimes you have to, not have to. I mean, it's the truth, but let's get down to the level. Listen, I was a good coach at Louisville. In order for me to be a great coach at Louisville, I would have had to win a championship. I know exactly what it's like not to reach your end goal. First of all, when you play these sports in college or any competitive sport, there's only one team that's happy.
Right.
I was just fortunate enough to be happy 3 times. But I can tell you what, the 96 is what we probably talk more about 96 than we do 94, 95, 97. 95, ain't nothing to say. We're the greatest of all time. 97, I think, doesn't get enough credit. 94 was like the first. That's kind of like the, you're getting your cupcake and ice cream. But 96 is talked about a lot, thought about a lot. So you can get on that level with them and go through the ups and downs with it and come out through the end. And a lot of it, obviously peaking at the right time, players staying out of their own way, everybody willing to, sacrifice something for the betterment of the team. And then you get on a run, and then you got to make adjustments, at the end, at the right time. Look, I will tell you this. There's a lot more more harder jobs out there than Danny has, because you coach an immensely talented team, so it's not that bad. It's not that hard, and obviously not going to, take anything away from it. But I just think that, it's going to be something little, and the little things will lead to big things. And the great thing about it is, as you're starting this over, reset it, whatever you want to call it, rebranding it, right? Everybody's here. It'd be different to say, like, I don't know enough about the volleyball coaches that if you brought in somebody maybe not on the same level as Coach Cook, but say, won a championship recently or 2, then you're like, okay.
If you snatch Texas's coach or
and then they're coming in like looking
Kentucky's
down on you or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I've already won championships. It's like you do what I say because I've done something that you guys haven't been able to do. Here's an example I had with it from a football standpoint. When I was in Buffalo, obviously the Music City Miracle was a big deal, right? And obviously, the next year we played, and then Wade got fired, and then they brought in Greg Williams. Well, Greg Williams always referenced what they did because they beat us, their defense and all that. We're going to beat us. Well, here's the funny thing about it. We were number 3, number 1, number 6, and 3, 1, 6. Or in that order, or 6, 3, or 6. You know what? Top 10 defense. Bro, you ain't. I know we don't have Javon Curse, but this ain't a bunch of chumps up in here. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but it was always that because they just went to the Super Bowl and they just beat us, and they that was the new it thing with the defense and all that other stuff. So it's not a championship, but he got to we had that hangover of that. I don't think Buffalo the franchise got over that for like 20 years up until we start winning. I mean, that was hard. So that's where you can have a coach that comes in and kind of is like a overlord versus a coach. And so as long as Danny, it's a good process for them to go through together.
Oh, absolutely. Another good process for you to go through is going to Liquid Asset Sports Bar and Grill at 27th and Jamie Lane here in Lincoln. They've got 23 beers on tap, a specific bar for high-end bourbon and spirits, 30 TVs where you can watch baseball. You can watch football training camp headlines. You can watch golf after you've gone out there and lost 17 balls into the water in tall grass, whatever it is. Need a drink to kick back, relax after your round. Liquid Asset Sports Bar and Grill is the place to go. 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln. Jay, this is where we're going to transition into talking a little bit about an executive order that got signed from the desk of President Donald Trump regarding college sports. Now, of course, this isn't law. It's not set in stone. Can be much more easily undone. And a lot of people in the college ranks are looking for Congress to actually put some legislation through. There's obviously some more stuff on the front burner compared to college sports, but a few interesting things from this executive order. The first thing, a lot of this will be taken from the Yahoo Sports write-up by Ross Dellinger about it. Ross Dellinger says, the executive order most notably requires that schools to maintain or even increase the number of scholarships they provide to non-revenue sports. This is geared to protect Olympic sports and women's sports that are at risk of elimination as schools direct more funding away from them and to the sports that generate the revenue like football and men's basketball. Here's the breakdown of that. Schools with $125 million or more in their budget, which is the vast majority of your power league schools, based on this executive order, must provide more scholarship opportunities than they did last year. So if you make $125 million or more in revenue, you got to add scholarships, according to this executive order.
To the non-rev sports.
To the non-rev sports. Those schools with budgets of $50 million or more are not allowed to reduce scholarships. They have to offer at least the same number, if not provide more. Do you like that?
I like it in theory, and Title IX's in there too, right? So it's one for one.
Would assume
right?
so.
Sure, yeah.
Would
So,
assume so.
I mean, I like it. I like the idea. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. I understand it from a national standpoint with the Olympic sports, because that's this is where you get your Olympic champions and like the track and all that stuff. I mean, they don't you don't go from high school to running in world level track and field. You need to come to college
unless you're Quincy Wilson, and that's the exception that proves the rule.
Right, and that's a generation, and he hasn't done it in the Olympics yet. So I like it. It was always kind of gray where how many scholarships would be like for baseball, basketball. I don't think that's really clear yet. So I like it. I mean, basketball is generated, but just women's basketball. I think it varies per school too as well, because obviously University of UConn is heavy men's and women's basketball. And so I like it. I understand it. I think I'm assuming he's talked to Nick Saban, because I think they did some sort of deal together, right? Or
they were working on putting Nick on some college sports.
But I think at Alabama, Nick spoke than Donald Trump did, right?
Yeah,
or something. I know I saw. I don't know if
they're in cahoots in some form or fashion.
And that's the you look. There's not a better person for you to pick his brain than Nick Saban. So I like it. I don't want any of those Olympic sports to go away, because this is their dream to come to college. And they are essentially having the same wants and needs as I needed when I came here. So we want to make sure that they at least have their school paid for, because they obviously earned it. And so making sure the numbers are right, where maybe increase them based on the sport. Probably relieve some of the stress, because I know back when I played, guys would be on like a quarter scholarship, then half, and that's hard on an athlete. And so if you can do a little bit more and spread the wealth some, then I'm all for it. But I think this thing is going to be a constant revamp compromise for the next 3 to 5 years.
I completely agree. And this isn't really even taking money away from football or men's basketball, right? This is, you've set $20.5 million aside, and that rev share money is going to be the rev share money. This is scholarships. This is a different animal coming out of that 125 or more, which to me doesn't say that colleges all of a sudden need to find ways to raise more revenue. It's they just got to get smarter about spending it and make sure that they keep the main thing prioritizing scholarships more than anything else.
Well, on the flip side, you want to make sure that they don't raise the, I guess the tuition so much to where then they lose, students that come here, because that's part of college as well. So it's a tricky slope, and there's always collateral damage, when big money's being tossed around. Obviously the benefits, people that benefit the most are football and basketball and, the other, odd sports that are the revenue generating sports that are be well taken care of. But the collateral damage is the, regular students and some of the Olympic sports that aren't generating revenue. So, it'll be whoever makes this decision will go down in history. Now, what side you go down on,
that's up to you.
It's up to you, but then also how it works out.
The other part I think that's interesting about that is that it's protecting scholarships, not adding them, because what this does not do is it does not overrule or override the roster limits from the House settlement. So you'll still have your 34 baseball scholarships, your 15 or 16 in volleyball. It's not saying, oh, you have to add a 17th, 18th scholarship to volleyball. It's not saying you have to, you can go up above and beyond the roster limits that have been set. It's saying that within that roster limit, make 2, 3, 4, 5 more of those scholarships available to more student athletes. Other things in this executive order, prohibit third-party pay for play. Great, we've had that, or at least we think we have that. Problem is, the enforcement of it, right? And that this executive order doesn't do anything to help with the enforcement if there is any pay for play or nefarious outside booster engagement. Then, Jay, the big one, athlete employment. In this executive order, President Trump calls on the Secretary of Labor and the National Relations Board to clarify the status of college athletes. So he's not saying in this executive order, you are employees, you are not employees. If he has his way, it sounds like he would say you're not employees.
Okay.
That's my understanding of how it reads.
Fits it, right? Yeah.
But so he's not saying I decree you are not employees. He's telling his Secretary of Labor and the National Relations Board, this is a priority for you. You go figure this out.
Yeah. You make the decision, and then you'll probably get an appeal on either way, because
someone's not going to be happy because this is existential.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting if they could possibly do like where you can opt in or opt out of being, an employee, and then the advantages and disadvantages of it. And so,
can you opt in or out of the NFLPA?
I don't think so.
Oh, you sign that contract and you're in the PA?
You pay your union dues. That come right out of your chizzy. And
straight out, no questions asked.
Like the funny thing about it, when I first got in the NFL, they used to have the NFL, the union, and then they had, I think it's what's called the quarterbacks club. They were separate. And then eventually they came. It really worked against it wasn't an advantage for either, because eventually the NFL and the owners kind of played it, both the players, unions against each other. And then obviously, you had, I think, Peyton Manning and them came in and joined it, and then, it kind of went away. So, as long as they can make a decision together, there's strength in numbers, and, as long as you have good representation, either way, you decide to not be an employee, or you become employees or unionize, or you collective bargain, as long as you do it and do it with the right intentions, and people that are representing you are on the up and up, it'll be fine. Now, the thing is that people need to understand, it's probably hard for athletes to understand, especially college athletes that have been involved in NIL, where you've just essentially been able to walk in and have your hand out. And I'm not hating, is that once rules start to come into effect and there's expectations and standards on not as big or as large as we had when we weren't getting paid. There is some. You have to understand there is give and take, and you also have to compromise some, and they need to compromise some.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out. Who feels like they come out on the top end and win, and or if they decide to go back and say, okay, let's sit down at the table.
The last portion of this is limited liability protection. This is obviously something the NCAA really wants. Jay, would you believe that the NCAA is tired of getting sued?
Well, they're tired of losing. They're fine getting sued, but they're tired of losing.
They're very tired of losing. And so they're asking for some sort of limited liability protection. According to Ross Dellinger, he says they want to be protected from legal challenges so they can enforce their rules over things such as transfers, roster limits, booster pay, many of which have been deemed illegal by courts, most notably, of course, in House versus NCAA. Dellinger writes, President Trump clearly disagrees with the court rulings, as he notes in the preamble. So then this executive order, according to Dellinger again, directs the Attorney General and the chairman of the FTC to create policies to protect the long-term availability of college athletic scholarship and opportunities when they are unreasonably challenged under antitrust law. They've got 60 days to do that. So again, what we're hearing from this executive order is that President Trump is coming down mostly on the side of the NCAA, more so than the student athletes right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you want some clarity. You want you to, I guess, do your job, show some leadership, and then also some guidance on how, you're getting the money, right? You already kind of got the idea of revenue share, but then also let's try to protect you and protect the players. And so everybody has their guardrails, what they have to operate within. It's not, too little, too late. It is late, but just because it's late doesn't mean that we can't try to do something in a positive manner and have some sort of structure, because the structure, whatever it may look like, will be better for both sides 10 years from now.
That it will. It'll remain to be seen exactly how it goes. Something's going to happen. Something good, something bad, probably some of both. And we will be right here talking about it during On the Block weekdays from 3 to 5. We'll go to break. When we get back, let's compare some trade deadlines. What are the differences in how players, agents, general managers, teams operate during the MLB trade deadline, which is coming up in just under a week, and compare and contrast that with the NBA trade deadline and the NFL trade deadline? He's Jay Foreman. I'm Moss Norman. This is On the Block on the Ticket.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's specials through July 29th are 15% off cheese and crackers, grass-fed, grass-finished tri-tips for $10.99, 820 ground beef trays for $6.99, and brisket flats for $9.99. Plus, stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursdays at the Mercado East or Fired Up Fridays at the Mercado North. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney and Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce is complicated. It affects every part of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions that it can take, it's times like this that you need a partner you can count on.
If you're a man facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today to connect with a local divorce attorney who understands the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Text GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. 1221 N Street, Lincoln. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply, stop to opt out.
When only the best will do. Sartor Heyman Jewelers.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. Visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SartorHeyman.com.
Sartor Heyman Jewelers.
Don't miss the 8th Annual Wing Fest on Saturday, July 26th at Haymarket Park from 5 till 8 p.m. Local restaurants will be serving wings from 5 to 7 p.m. with live music going until 8. Ice cream and beverages will also be available for purchase, and all the proceeds from the event will go to benefit students in the local community. Get your tickets today at wingfestlincoln.com and make sure you attend the 8th Annual Wing Fest at Haymarket Park on July 26th.
This July, Acres is celebrating the birth of our nation. The fireworks include the opportunity to save big with great pricing on our late model John Deere ag equipment. Plus, you can lock in interest rates as low as 1.9% on select used John Deere planters, tractors, sprayers, and combines. Red hot rates combined with our explosive discounts make July the perfect time to buy and save. Don't wait. These deals won't last long. Visit acres.com for all the details. That's AKRS.com. Restrictions apply. Offer July 31st, 2025. Subproof financing. Offer may change anytime without notice.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to SmokingGunJerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934. 8934. HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Doren. God bless you.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Rolling right along here during On the Block. Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you for On the Block, as well as Old School coming up for an hour after that. I will be doing a live Corner 3 here on air. Looking forward to having that air on the radio for the first time in a while, with me being here in the driver's seat for that. This segment of the show brought to you by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. It's based out of Hallam, Nebraska, and they offer a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty on everything while keeping their prices affordable. Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today for more info at 402-430-3852 or by visiting them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Jay, I was inspired by one Nick Upgrade Sainert today, doing the second hour of the drive with him. We were talking a little bit about a trade that went down in Major League Baseball, and it just got me thinking about just the main sort of differences and nuances between the trade deadlines in each sport, and just kind of this general structure of trades. I feel like baseball is really known for, you can concoct some really massive trade packages, usually for one player, maybe 2. But the interesting part about baseball trades is who you're getting, because in baseball you don't trade draft picks. Prospects, these actual players in the low minor leagues oftentimes are the source of the return, right? You trade what you have now in a superstar most often for, a package of prospects, guys that could turn into that from usually a pretty highly rated farm system. Compare that to the NFL and the NBA, where you don't know who it is you're getting. Draft picks are primarily the currency to grease the wheels for trades. And then even the differences between an NBA trade, where you can see Rudy Gobert go for 5 first-rounders and Kevin Durant go for 7 picks or whatever it was with Houston, compared to the NFL, where if you get 2, maybe 3 picks for a guy, that's a huge haul. And they're very rarely first-rounders, unless it's for a mega superstar or it's 1 first-rounder, not every other year's first-rounder in the NBA. It's just so fascinating seeing the differences in how trades go down and what the actual currency of the trade is outside of the big headlining players.
Yeah, let you know what, I hate to say that production in baseball is obviously the biggest factor, but when you look at McMahon's trade, today, obviously he's very productive. And then it's a little bit of money because baseball contracts are insured, so you can assume I think about Albert Bell, right?
Yeah.
All right. You end up being not what we thought. You're going home, but Lloyd's of London, whoever's paying the rest of your contract. So it's just I think the way they do business is different.
So
the big thing in baseball, at least from my perspective, is prospects. That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
If I gotta generally, right, if I gotta give out a productive player, then I need maybe not your top prospect, but I need somebody that we had an eye on that we totally respect out of your farm system.
I need 3 or 4 of your top 20.
Right. Whereas like the NFL is draft picks. Now take the Rams out of it, because they
screw them picks.
Yeah, they screw them picks. But generally it's draft picks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And money.
Yeah.
A lot of guys get traded, and I saw this thing, because in the NFL, Christian Wilkins signed a huge contract, and he's cut after the first year. He still has guaranteed money, but a lot of those times, those guys that sign those huge contracts and take advantage of supply and demand in free agency, they get traded that next year or traded for that next year because Team A already paid that huge bonus, and then now we're just dealing with the base salary, which you can kind of extend them and then push it back,
smooth it,
and it's dead money anyway. So now you're getting them on a rental type of thing. Now, whereas NBA, I mean, just imagine if let's say we talked about Von Miller last week. Just say when he was at the height of his career, he got traded to Buffalo at the time for like 5 first-round picks. It would be like either Buffalo wins the Super Bowl or you're done, right?
For 5 years.
For 5 years, forever.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the New Orleans Saints when they traded all those draft picks and everything for Ricky Williams, or the biggest trade in NFL history was, Dallas Cowboys, Herschel Walker and all that. So it's just a difference in the league, and it's a byproduct of the rosters. It's a byproduct of the MLB having a farm system.
Yeah.
So you can actually project where Jay Foreman and Austin Orman will be based on the data and the production in AA, AAA, and how fast we move up from even single A, all the way up, versus the NBA. You're generally trading draft picks because it's pretty much hit and miss. I mean, you have guys, there's guys that get drafted in the lottery. NBA know they ain't no good.
Right.
They're just drafting them because you have to. You got a lottery pick, we got to draft it. Nobody wants to trade a Bradley Beal for it because you don't want Bradley Beal's contract. You get a rookie contract. In the NFL, unless you're a knucklehead, remember, Cincinnati, I think they might have cut him. Was it Burton that was at Cincinnati, and Joe Burrow was mad at him because remember he was missing practice.
Yeah.
But he was a higher draft pick, second, third round pick.
Yeah.
That's the only way the young guys are getting, which would be the equivalent of a prospect.
Yeah.
Are getting traded or cut. You'll get a big contract get moved because they weren't productive, or in Christian Wilkinson's case, medical and a new regime in a new GM. Right.
Which that's still weird. The Raiders let go Telesco after one draft.
It's the Raiders.
But even for the Raiders.
It's the Raiders.
Okay, I take it back.
It's the Raiders.
The Raiders did Raiders things. One draft with Tom Telesco.
It's in their DNA. It's just in their. I think Pete Carroll will help them, and I think Tom Brady being invested in them. But it's like in the stadium is beautiful, right? Right?
Yeah,
it's great.
Very nice.
It's up there with the. It's still the Raiders. It's in their deal. Anybody that leaves the LA Coliseum without paying their rent, just saying, we're not gonna. We played here. We owe you money.
No, we don't.
Player. You don't pay Mike Shanahan. You owe Lane Kiffin money. You never really paid our show what he's supposed to. It's just all types of. So it's just a way of doing business. But I mean, whether it's Telesco or Christian Wilkinson after a year, they cut the defensive end Farrell after 2 years after really overdrafting him. He went number 4.
Yeah.
Leatherwood, who they picked at 12, he cut after 1 year maybe. And so some teams are, they don't care.
The other interesting part I think about the difference in trade deadlines is that in baseball, you get some of those surprise contenders that buy at the trade deadline every so often. Of course, that happens in every sport. But in baseball, more often, you see the same big name teams trading for guys year after year after year. And the big difference there, Jay, in the trade deadlines is there's no salary cap to worry about in baseball, right? That's why the Dodgers can keep making these trades year after year. That's why the Yankees are always buyers, never sellers, because they can absorb any sort of contract they want. Now, we know that GMs still look for those expirings.
Sure.
But I think baseball, more so than even football and basketball, has gotten wise about the value of the expiring contract from the player's side.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because when you think about it in the NFL and the NBA, with the salary cap, the value in acquiring a rental player is that it's so little harm, so little foul.
Yeah.
You try it for however long, and then they're off the books.
Yep.
You can try to re-sign them. If you get them, great.
They're like mercenaries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In baseball, though, what we're running into this trade deadline in a lot of cases, too, is that baseball teams, I think, have gotten smarter to the value of the rental player themselves, where unless they're sure that this player is going to be worth it, they're not going to kick in as much of a return.
Yeah.
Right? The value of those in the NFL and the NBA is you'll get rid of whoever you need to clear space on your books, right? You'll get this guy just so you can clear space later. But because you drafted these guys in baseball, you can't trade draft picks, and you have prospects, we're seeing baseball teams be a lot more hesitant to make deals for those expiring players because the books matter, but not quite as much. And because the price that these teams want for your expiring player is still way too high. These teams are trading or asking for prices like you have another 1, 2, 3 years of control for a guy when if you haven't made the trade by now, you might have through September, maybe August. Baseball teams have gotten a lot smarter about not giving up the entire golden goose just for 3 months of a player.
And the reason why they're trying to charge that premium is because you know the dead money is you could call it dead money tax. It's almost like you remember when Steve Hutchinson got traded, or Seattle got kind of signed him when he was a franchise player. The poison pill. It's all in contract language. And the NFL, the Philadelphia Eagles are probably the closest to hire, or at least they were that year, hiring, getting the mercenaries, right? Remember they had safety but that's why they're winning, because they when they do things, it's for a purpose.
Yes.
Is it Bird from, I think he was at Tennessee. Yeah. Cause he went from New Orleans to Tennessee. They had a plethora of injuries at safety. They get him, right? They have injuries at defensive tackle. They get Linville from Minnesota, and then they get Ndamukong Suh. And now they were free agents, but they go out and make those moves. Hire the mercenaries. End of the year, okay, it works out both for the player and the team. You get some film. Show. I mean, obviously, Ndamukong, everybody knows he can still play. But other guys, you get to play. You get to be productive. You're on Philadelphia. You get the badge of honor, and then now you go off back into free agency. Whereas like basketball, where they'll trade a guy, have 2 years on the contract, and then they'll be stuck that next year with trying to trade him at the basketball trade deadline, which generally is around the All-Star break. And then back, let's flip to baseball. What's funny, you hear some baseball fans say their biggest complaint about their teams is they don't trade enough. So say like Kansas City, right? Or the Cubs, and say you were projected to be a bottom feeder, but you're playing well, right? You're in playoff contention. So all the fans are checking the internet, constantly waiting for the trade to get them not only into the playoffs, but to maybe win a playoff series. And when they don't, I think it also is the flip side of it, because now you're holding on to, let's just call it Bitcoin, fictitious money out there, because the fans are saying, well, we're coming to support. They're playing well. Go spend the money. It's almost like the Pittsburgh Pirates, of history, or the Montreal Expos. Now it works against them based on where they're at, but you get some teams like that do that, versus like in the NFL, right? Say like I don't know, well, Buffalo's obviously up there. Say like a team like, let's just say Arizona makes a run. Say they were supposed to be like really bad, right? But they get on a winning streak.
Well, I mean, shoot, I think Arizona's a great example with the improvement they've had in the last 2 years.
They'll go out and make moves. Oh, this is our year, because the NFL knows if your window suddenly opens, it's shut.
We got a third place schedule that we feel like is beneath us. So let's go dominate that third place schedule.
And you better do it. And especially if you make a wise trade or a free agency pickup during the season, because on the back end, you got salary cap space in the offseason. So it's kind of like baseball flipped, because you got, you get I call it the bad team tax, or the bad team interest, which is the draft picks in the salary cap room in the offseason. And as long as your window's open and you continue to open that window by making good moves, it actually that's how New Orleans built their thing. You get Sean Payton, get Drew Brees, timely trades and draft picks, salary cap, and then you kind of just start to add in a little bit. Next thing you know, you built a dynasty down there.
Since I was gesturing wildly, I want to explain my stance on the Royals, because I mean, they're on the air tonight, 6:30, so TC3 will be on for half an hour before we kick it to the Royals. Anyways, number one, the Royals under the previous regime, Dayton Moore, were not active enough in trading away, because they had a bunch of guys. The Royals' big thing, Jay, is what I think every team should aspire to. Look at all these guys that we drafted that made it to the majors. Made it to the show. Problem is, the guys that made it to the show got there because everyone else was bad too. It's not like they drafted a whole bunch of superstars outside of, the really good run they had there in 13, 14, 15, 16, and bordering on 17 there. But then the Royals were hesitant to trade away Eric Hosmer, Lorenzo Cain. They got a little bit of something for Mike Moustakas, even Alcides Escobar. When they could tell they were at the end of the run, that core was aging out and they weren't extending them, instead of seeing what they could get for them in prospects the year before with the year of control, or even at the trade deadline, Kansas City said, no, these guys want a title. They're proud. We're proud of them. We developed them. Come hell or high water, we're holding on to them.
Yeah.
Which is great. Maybe it helped him sell tickets for the rest of the season. But there were some really bad Royals teams in 2018, 19, and
Right.
20 with no hope for the future to replenish a depleted farm system because you couldn't make the rational move. You made the emotional one. Now, let's fast forward to this Royals team. They're mediocre. They have been all year. They'll beat the bad teams. They struggle against the good teams. They're on the outside looking in the playoffs. They have a shot. It's pretty wide open in the American League. But this is where being in the middle is such a dangerous place for teams to be, where I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago, the Rays were kind of in that same position as the Royals. A couple games under 500 after the All-Star break in a pretty good division, bunch of teams in front of them they had to pass. Tampa was never bad enough to bottom out and tank, which has also been made harder in Major League Baseball, but they sold their pieces on the fringe.
Yeah.
Right? Not their core guys that they saw long-term, but this guy has more value to us because of what he can bring back instead of what he's doing now. And that's where the Royals are. I mean, they have a frontline starter in Seth Lugo, who has been really good. It's a two-time All-Star for them, or just a one-time All-Star borderline this year, where he's on an expiring deal, has a player option or whatever. Does he bring value to the Royals if they make a run, and get back into the playoffs? Yes. But you have to know as the GM, how good is this team really? Am I hoping that they get better, or do I see tangible signs that they will get better?
That's the catch-22. I mean,
it is, because if you get it right, and that's where I'm at with the Royals too, making the playoffs back-to-back years isn't something the Royals do in my lifetime. It'd be great if they got hot and went on a run. But Jay, as a Royals fan, I would rather sacrifice this year, even with an outside shot of getting at the playoffs, to maximize the window for Bobby Witt, a superstar the Royals haven't had since like Carlos Beltran was there. I mean, back in the early 2000s, it sucks to punt a year when you're right there in contention, and complicating matters too. Royals want a new stadium. They want it downtown. So selling might not be the best option, but I think that's short-sighted, because maybe you sell this year, but if you go out, you're active in free agency where the Royals have been pretty good the last few years, and you've bolstered a farm system that has been one of the worst in baseball for a handful of years now by trading guys that, have been pretty good to decent for you over the last couple of years, but won't help you extend the competitive window for the prime years of Bobby Witt Jr.'s career. You got to have your priorities straight, and that's contending and making sure you can get the next Bobby Witt and keep the one you have around.
Yeah, I mean, if hearing you talk is just about my Twinkies. That's they're exact same. They'll pop up. No, they've been over history a little bit better and more competitive than the Royals, but it's the same thing. It's like, they go out and get Carlos Carrera. That's like their big splash, right? So you've seen an uptick. They're down in the fourth in the Central this year, and now when all the things that you hear coming out of Minneapolis is essentially they're going to fire sale everybody, and they're going to trade their Joe Ryan, who's a really good pitcher, and then possibly
Duran Jax,
and all,
maybe.
Right. It's all based on what they could get back. So now you have Carlos Carrera, who you thought was a splash. Now you ain't winning. So now, like what you're saying, now we're not even maximizing Carlos Carrera, who was a surprise get in free agency. When he popped up with a Twins jersey, he was supposed to go anywhere and everywhere besides Minneapolis, right? And I think it was a 1-year prove-it deal.
Yeah.
And then he obviously re-upped. He re-upped faster than he actually got there in free agency. And so now the Twins and the Royals are just in the same spot. Like, okay, what are we going to do? Are we going to take it on the chin and center everything around our star player? And obviously, Bobby Witt is, better than Carlos Carrera, and we have Buxton as well. But are we going to maximize the short window? And how are we going to do it now? Because once you start giving away legit players when you aren't legit, it's actually it works twice against you, because you're not attractive for free agents.
Right. We call that Washington when they traded Harper and they traded Soto. They haven't rebounded yet.
Right.
That's what Pittsburgh's facing with Paul Skeens.
Right.
They don't have anything else on that team of that much value. And I know we're running a little bit long, but I want to finish this segment here. 1508 says Royals' issue is they're cheap. No, I disagree. Would it be nice if John Sherman would spend some more money? Yeah, the Royals are below average in payroll and could stand to spend a little more, and I won't disagree with that. But the Royals' primary issue isn't that they're cheap; it's that they're sentimental. Look at what Cleveland has done. They built a starting pitching factory. They churn out dudes left and right. You look at what Milwaukee did. Same thing. Look at what Tampa Bay did. Same thing. Those are teams that spend in the same neighborhood as the Royals that have been more competitive more consistently in the last 10 to 15 years because they're not sentimental. They trade guys when the time is right.
Yeah.
They don't wait for the Godfather offer. If they get enough, if they get the prospects they like, they trade it. The Royals have done what you said, Jay, and they go for windows. Okay, we have this team. We got two swings at it to make the playoffs. We got 3 swings at it. And that's fine for the Royals. They made the wild card game, made a run to the World Series in 14. They came back, they won it all in 15. Windows are great if that's a strategy you want to do, but then you have to be ready to, at the end of that window, be extremely active, be extremely aggressive, and make the non-competitive window as short as possible. But I bring up Cleveland, Minnesota a little bit, like you said, Milwaukee and Tampa. Yeah. Those teams have consistently been in the race for their division because they're not afraid to make the move that hurts, and they make a lot of those minor small moves that, maybe don't move the needle a whole lot, but they're winning on the margins.
Yeah.
The Royals aren't going to go be the Yankees or the Dodgers in free agency. I have no expectation of them doing that, but they need to be better if they're not going to splash the cash around at making those little moves on the margins. Because if you get 1% better here, 0.5% better here, 3/4 of a win better here, that adds up over the long run. The more right decisions you make, the bigger an advantage you build, the longer that contention window is.
1,000%, man. I suffered through that with the Twins and the Baltimore Orioles, and the Orioles longer than the Twins. So,
yeah.
Anyway, that's a good point there, man. I mean, it's that major that trade deadline is. First of all, I've been traded.
Really? Have you?
Yeah, I got
Did
traded,
that happen
man.
to you?
Yeah, you bring up some bad memories, man. Anyway, we're going to take this to the break. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. We'll be right back.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. Visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SartorHeyman.com.
Sartor Heyman Jewelers.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
We're going to be partly to mostly cloudy here for your Friday. Very slight chance of a thunderstorm this afternoon into this evening. High temperature of 83 degrees with a light southerly wind. We'll drop down to 70 for a low tonight before we hit 90 for a high on Saturday. And then we'll be pushing triple digits Sunday and Monday. I'm meteorologist Aaron Dowden for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. stores, but buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
This July, Acres is celebrating the birth of our nation. The fireworks include the opportunity to save big with great pricing on our late model John Deere ag equipment. Plus, you can lock in interest rates as low as 1.9% on select used John Deere planters, tractors, sprayers, and combines. Red hot rates combined with our explosive discounts make July the perfect time to buy and save. Don't wait. These deals won't last long. Visit acres.com for all the details. That's AKRS.com. Restrictions apply. Offer July 31st, 2025. Some approved financing. Offer may change anytime without notice.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
We're going to keep this one quick. We'll turn it over to Old School, even though it's the same voices you'll hear. I'm Austin Norman, and he's Jay Foreman. Final segment brought to you by Love Volleyball Omaha. Get your season tickets today. Watch Jordan Larson, world champion, Olympic gold medalist, obviously. Take the court, national champions, more former Huskers as well. LOVBOMA.com. Jay, we were talking about Danny Busby Kelly, the volleyball team, and the alums coaching the program that they played in once. You go to Rhonda Revelle, right, at Nebraska as well. Yeah. Former Husker softball player. Someone on our text line threw out, as of a couple of years ago, Pat Fitzgerald was in that boat at Northwestern.
Yeah.
Hubert Davis.
How did I forget about him?
I mean, Hubert Davis at Carolina.
Yeah.
The big news, Jeff Braun going from Purdue
That's right,
to Louisville.
Right.
You think about Dave Van Horn going back home to Arkansas in the baseball realm of things there. Where does my list go? Mike Gundy is an Oklahoma State guy.
That's right, man. We didn't think hard enough.
Penny,
I'm a man.
Penny
to Memphis.
Penny at Memphis.
I'm a man.
It's a huge year for Oklahoma
I'm
State,
a man.
It's a huge year for them. Another bad year, and I mean, they did not like Gundy last year. Alum or what?
Some quarterback.
You got to get to Zane. Zane Flores time, Jay.
Hey.
Give that man the ball.
Somebody got to step up, boy.
Come on, Zane.
You could save Mike Gundy's job, man. You could get a free house out of that. You put his house up for sale.
I'll buy it back and give it to you.
Yeah,
Save my dang job.
Yeah. You can stay in a guest house because that guest house is like size of a
house.
So
what we got on Old School?
Well, Husker camp starts here in a few days, so we'll do a full hour on what it's like to go into camp in this type of year. It's a new regime, and not a new regime, obviously same coaches, but the veteran players are gone. What's that like? Because Matt Rule said that this is their team. Dylan said this is their team. What that means and what position groups need to play well.
There we go. That'll be Old School coming up here for the next hour. He's Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Norman. Big thanks to the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese for sponsoring On the Block as well as Old School. We'll bring you that Foreman Norman on Old School on the other side.